Hi guys, so in the last video we talked about the relationship between acceleration, velocity and displacement in terms of differentiating to gain the one we want. In this video we're going to talk through a worked example where we're going to use this in order to solve the problem using calculus. Okay, so it's important that we remember before we start that the acceleration is the derivative of the velocity, which is the derivative of the displacement. So acceleration is the double derivative of the displacement. Okay, and that's our key that's going to get us through this question. So our worked example: the position of an object in motion will vary with time. The motion is described by the equation s equals 4.2 t squared plus 3t plus 7. For A, we to find an expression for the velocity of the object. For B, we to find the velocity of the object after 9 seconds. And for C, the acceleration of the object. Okay, so part A. Remember that velocity is the derivative of the displacement. So we are going to work out the derivative of that equation that it gives us. So it starts off with s equals 4.2 t squared plus 3t plus 7. So ds by dt is going to be 8.4 t plus 3, which means that our velocity is 8.4 t plus 3. Okay. Part B says to find the velocity after 9 seconds. Well, this equation we've just worked out is our equation for velocity, so I'm going to write this up for part B. And so it's 8.4 t plus 3. And what we're going to do is we're just going to substitute t into that equation. So it's going to be 8.4 times 9 plus 3. Okay? And all you have to do is pop that into your calculator. 8.4 times 9 plus 3. That's 78.6 is our velocity. Okay, and for part C we have to find the acceleration of the object. Well, acceleration is the derivative of the velocity. So if v is 8.4 t plus 3, dv by dt is going to be 8.4, so therefore our acceleration 8.4 meters per second squared. There we go. Time for a second worked example. So if we have a box with a constant acceleration of 4 meters per second squared and it's sliding down a smooth slope, at the time equals 0, the displacement of the box is 2 meters and its velocity is 3 meters per second. That right there is really important because that line is our initial conditions, which are going to be really important for solving these. Okay, now as you've probably already worked out, this is going to be an integration question. Okay, so it says use calculus methods to show that the velocity v of the object of the box is given by the expression v equals 4t plus 3. So starting with question A then, first thing I'm going to do is write down everything I know. So I know that the acceleration is 4 meters per second squared, and at t equals 0, v equals 3. Okay, now we know that acceleration is equal to dv by dt. So in this case, dv by dt is equal to 4. Okay, if we integrate both sides with respect to t, okay, these two dt's are going to cancel off with each other, which will leave us with v is equal to 4t plus c. Our initial conditions, we're going to substitute them in. So at t equals 0, v equals 3. So 3 equals 4 times 0 plus c. So c is equal to 3. Therefore, v is equal to 4t plus 3 as required. Okay, and then part B says show that the displacement of the box is given by s equals 2t squared plus 3t plus 2. Okay, so remember that v is ds by dt. So our equation for velocity can be written as ds by dt is equal to 4t plus 3. Before we go any further, remember that it's given us initial conditions at t equals 0, s equals 2. Okay, and that's up here in the question. Okay, so the displacement of the box is 2. So, integrate both sides with respect to t. The integral of 4t dt plus the integral of 3 dt. And so those two dt's at the front are going to cancel, and the integral of ds is going to be s. And integrate 4t is going to become 4t squared, and then you bring the 2 down and divide, so it's going to become 2t squared. The integral of 3 with respect to t is going to become 3t, and we have our plus c. Now our initial conditions, substitute in our values. It says that s is 2 when t is 0. So therefore c is going to be equal to 2. And if we substitute all those back in, we're going to get s is equal to 2t squared plus 3t plus 2 as required. Hope this was helpful, and enjoy doing some calculus questions, guys.